Hi everyone and welcome to another Scrapbook Bakery video. Today I just want to show you the tutorial on how to create this fish card that was on my blog last week. This was for the Hero Arts Week. And the first thing I want to do is start with this little fish. And I used a watercolor technique, so let me show you how I did that. I started with some watercolor paper and I used some of this black archival ink. This is from Ranger. It's great for this technique because it's waterproof and smear proof. So we're going to take some of that and we're going to ink up the fish from the fish set from Hero Arts. You can find all these products on scrapbookbakery.com, but I'll have a link in the description box so that you can find them easily. So I inked it up and now I'm going to get this is a little tip for you. I have an old piece of ceramic tile from a project we did. It's kind of beat up, but it's a great hard surface for stamping. So just a little tip there. A cutting board works really well too. So I have my paper and I'm just going to stamp my fish on there. He's cute. Okay, now what we're going to do is we are going to create some watercolor using some distress ink. So I have this Spice Marmalade distress ink and I'm going to put some on my acrylic block. And this will wipe right off when we're done, so don't worry about that. And after you put some on your block, you're going to use, I'm using a water mist bottle from Hero Arts. It's great for water spraying. You're going to spray until you see bubbles like that. That's good enough. You don't need very many. And then I'm going to take my fish and my paintbrush, and I'm just going to dip it in. Just do like you would for any kind of watercolor. It's the same thing. I'm going to pick up some color, and I'm going to put them on my fish. Now, I'm not being neat or careful because I'm going to cut this fish all the way out. If you weren't and just were going to put it on a piece of paper, then you're going to want to be neater, obviously. But for what I'm doing, I don't need to. So I'm just going to cover him all the way. Now, once you got it all colored, then you can go back and add a little bit of texture and dimension and put some heavier ink like towards the ends or the tops. It just gives it some shading. I'm going to do mine towards the back. And it'll gradually get lighter to the front. And I don't worry about the eye or the mouth because I'm going to use something to cover that eye later. You'll see. Okay, so we're going to set that aside to dry. And for the sake of time, I went ahead and cut one out already. And this one, I used 3 different distress inks on. So you can do that and then you can cut it out. And to add a little fun to the fish, I have a jelly roll pen. I'm just going to add some sparkle to his fins. I'm not going to do all of it just again for time's sake, but this is what I did. I just went around each little scale and I did the entire body of the fish along with the little polka dots. So that's how the fish was created. And now I want to show you how I made this background here, the sea background. So we're going to take a bigger piece of watercolor paper and I went ahead and stamped with Versamark this flourish stamp from Hero Arts. This is a great background stamp to have. It goes well with anything. It can be birthday or anniversary, but it's also kind of fun and whimsical for projects like these. So I went ahead and inked this up with Versamark and then I stamped it on watercolor paper. Now you don't have to do this technique on watercolor paper. You can do it on regular paper. I just chose watercolor paper because I really like the texture that it gives. So I went ahead and stamped that on here with Versamark ink and then I heat embossed it with clear embossing powder. And once that's done, you can go back and you could use other distress inks and you could use blue ones and make your ocean, but I want to do something a little different. So I'm going to use my Copic markers. I just got these and I am by no means an expert. I just wanted to play and see, kind of experiment. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to, start with the BG05. This is Holiday Blue. And I'm just going to take the brush end and I'm just going to color back and forth pretty quickly. As you can see, when I do that, it's resisting the embossed image. I'll give it a close up there. And don't worry about the brush marks because we're going to layer color and it's going to blend really well. So for the sake of time, I went ahead and did another piece. Now this piece has a layer of the, let's see, Holiday Blue, what I just showed you. I did that all the way around. And then I went back and I did Coral Sea on top of that. And now I'm going to finish it off with Sky. And I'm going to take the brush tip. And this is really, I just want to get the edges just for a little bit more dimension. And I like this because you can kind of color fast and the brush marks just kind of blend together. Gives it a nice look. So once I've done that, I might go back and add a few more layers, but for time's sake, I just wanted to give you the idea of it. And now I'm going to take a baby wipe. Let me get one out. And I'm going to go over the entire piece. And this is pretty wet, actually. I'm going to go over the entire piece. And this will remove any color from the embossed image. And it also really makes the colors rich. So let me show you the final result. Isn't that pretty? Fun. So then when you're done with that, you would take a border punch. This one's from Martha Stewart. And I would just go along the top and punch a border, and it gives the effect of a wave, like in the original card. So now that I'm going to do that later, again, for time's sake. But now that I did that, I want to show you how to create the bubbles that comes out of the fish's mouth. So we're going to take some liquid pearls. And we're just going to place the fish on. I'm not going to glue it on. I just kind of want to see where I want it. So right about there looks good. And then I'm going to take my liquid pearls and just put about 3 drops on. About the same size. You could do more, but that's good for me. So then, as you can see, there's some, it kind of looks like an ice cream cone. You just hit it from the back of the card. And they flatten out great. So that's a little trick so they look a lot better. So then when that's done, you would adhere your fish, and I use pop dots on mine, you didn't have to. And then I'm going to add, just for fun, with his eye, I'm going to add a googly eye. And in this googly eye, I want it to be a little bit larger for a more playful issue than the first one. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to use a glue dot and stick it on. Okay, and last but not least, I'm going to add my sentiment. I used a McGill punch for this. It cuts out these 4 sizes for labels. It's great with sentiments. And the sentiment I'm going to use is Let's Catch Up, just like in the first card. So I'm going to take one of those punch labels, and I'm going to stamp it with Black Memories ink. This is what it looks like. I'm going to stamp that right on the label. And this is another advantage of clear. You can see exactly where you're stamping. Makes it easier. So I'm going to peel that off. And there's a sentiment. Let me put my ink away. And then you're going to put that right on top of the 3 bubbles. Again, when all that's done, I would just adhere it to the card. And the cards that I use, I got an email about that. These are Hero Arts cards, and I love them because it's a mix pack of 12. So you get 3 different colors. So obviously the orange I used in the first card. Then they give you like a melon orange and also a yellow. It's really, really pretty. And again, you can find those at scrapbookbakery.com. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, just give me an email or leave a comment. And thanks for watching.